Look at my Star Trek toys! What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Look at My Star Trek Toys, and today we have breaking news.
Sorta.
It was breaking within the last 48 hours, which for us is really good.
Can you say, how about we have broken news?
We have broken news. Yeah. If you but here's the thing, everybody already knows the information, but they haven't heard us blather on about it for no reason.
Which I think is better because I figure there's no pressure. If you're breaking the news, there's pressure. You got to get it right.
That's true.
You got to speed up. When it's already broken and you're just talking about it, there's no pressure. Much easier.
I mean, we're not going to get it right even with time.
Well said.
So today we are going to be talking about Nacelle Toys action figures Wave 2. We've done a couple of videos on Wave 1 when they first announced it and have set up all of that for pre-order. We've looked at all that in great detail. But true to form, they made a promise that Wave 2 was going to be coming out. It's already been set. And so finally, this weekend, they announced Wave 2. Now, we've already seen one of them, or at least, I don't know if we've discussed it, but the world knew about the first one. But we are going to talk through all the rest. We're going to get a detailed look at the first figure and then just know what the next ones are going to be. So lots of speculation, lots of analysis. We don't have the figures other than the first one.
I had a question, though.
Yeah.
Going in, and I don't mean this flip. As I'm sort of I'm still my fleggling journey.
You're not
Trek.
quite so noob, buddy.
I know.
Ensign.
Well, yeah, you're right. I'm ensign. But would there be, because the Wave 1 was like deeper cuts, remember?
Yes.
And I thought to myself, this is cool and clever, and I'm psyched, But will there be something for me, is the question I had. And the Kirks are cool, and the horse Kirk is going to be cool. We'll talk about it. But what could there be for me, Keith?
I bet there might be something for you, but I think the gist of what I thought you were going to ask is a lot of people, when they saw the deepest of cuts in the first wave, they're like, well, we kind of want our heroes and their regular stuff in this scale and this style. And Nacelle has said they're coming. We are actually going to give you, waves of our heroes in their normal style. When they first said they weren't going to do that, but then based on feedback, they're like, no, we really want this. And so they're going to do it. However, Wave 2 had already been set before they made that decision to change. So this is the last thing that they had pre-prepared or at least gotten set up to do before they got the feedback. So I bet Wave 3 might give us some more of our heroes in their standard duty uniforms. So this is the second of the Deep Cuts edition. However, let's just get into it a little bit and take a look at the figure they announced back at Toy Fair, and that is Generations Kirk, which we were able to see the figure, but now we can see a great deal more of the figure as well as the choking hazards, which...
Keith, do you mind if I present them?
Please.
Jar of dillweed. Eggs. Axe. Firewood. Stump. Horse.
Atreyu! That's great. I think that might need to be my new ringtone.
Jar of dillweed.
I'm like, in a business meeting. Jar of dillweed. Eggs.
That horse looks so cool, though.
Yes.
So remind me, these are the 6.66 inch size?
These are 7-inch scale.
7-inch, okay.
So you're going to be able to get some more detail, that kind of stuff. So first off, before we get into the horse of it all, we should look at the main figure itself. So this is Nexus Kirk from Generations, wearing his sort of vest, which I thought was a really good sort of casual adaptation without having the full jacket on, because he's casual Kirk. He's cooking eggs for his fiance. He needs the dill weed to make the eggs. Yeah. Now, when's the last time you saw Generations, Mike?
Oh, it's been a while. I think the last time I saw Generations is when I saw it in the theater.
Okay, well, it's going to be fresh once we get to it on the patron feed.
Yeah, I'm excited. I remember being pleasantly surprised by it.
Yeah, it has some. It's a polarizing film. I think it is an interesting film in that they started filming it 2 weeks after Next Generation ended,
Mm-hmm.
and ended with a better series finale than their first film.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some good stuff about it.
Yeah, I mean, my question, I don't remember it, to be honest with you, but my question is, does Kirk go out on his back, as any good wrestler should when he's handing over the torch?
Well, I mean, if you don't remember, I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah, you're right.
But anyway, but he gets to meet Picard in all of this outfit. I think the figure looks great. I think the sculpt looks great. I think that's a really good 1994 Shatner.
Mm-hmm. And I love that they have to point out where the dillweed is. Like, that is, somebody was like, we need to really indicate.
But here's the thing about Nacelle, is that they really do have a sense of whimsy.
Yes, I love that.
And I really like that, and I really love like the incredibly specific whimsy. They go so far into the weeds that even I don't always remember what they're referring to. And how many hours do you think we've talked about Star Trek on the internet?
Oh, a lot, man.
A great many, great many. So I think that's really fun. So, and it looks like the axe will come separately, but it has a notch in the stump that you can actually put the axe. So we're seeing sort of the prototypes of the 3D sculpt there. They will be painted, as I understand it. But these are just sort of the prototypes. Still, jar of dillweed, guys. If you want to know where it was on both pictures, well labeled. Hilarious.
It's like a joke, right? Is it an inside
Their
joke?
graphics team, like, excellent. Well, he needs it. It's referred to in the movie. He needs to make the eggs, and
eggs are just eggs without a garnish.
It's true, and eggs are a running gag on Next Gen. So Riker poisons everybody with eggs in an episode. So anyway, I think it's really fun. The horse of it all. Can we talk about the horse? They're giving us a full-sized horse as part of the choking hazards. I dare I say, it's not a choking hazard. I'd have it's going to be hard to swallow that horse. You know what I mean?
I feel like for monetization's sake, I should leave that lie.
No, I believe you should say, nay.
Hold on. May I?
I mean, look, I understand these figures are not super cheap, but if you're getting a full-size, life-size horse as in addition to the figure, that's not nothing.
As long as the articulation is such, and it looks like it is, that he can sit upon it properly. I
think he'll be able to.
I don't think that's like an oversight you wouldn't see them making. Yeah, he's going to fit just nice on that horse.
I would imagine. I mean, I never thought I would have a middle-aged Shatner riding a horse on my bookshelves, but you know what? You never know what life is going to throw at you.
You're right. That jar of dillweed is going right next to the Nah Visitor over here.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think it looks great. I think it's cool. I mean, it's a Shatner that we don't have represented. We don't have, I don't know of a figure. There might be some figures with him in this particular outfit. But in the Playmates line of Generations figures, they did not make this version. So fun, sure, why not?
Yeah,
I bet it will sell well.
Yeah,
so
I'm into it.
So now, we really should have thought about this and fuzzed them out one by one, but we're just going to talk about that one by one here in Wave 2 of Nacelle's Star Trek line. Next figure up, this one I'm legit excited about. That is Captain Janeway from Year of Hell, which is I know not everybody loves it, but I love it. It's a two-parter, Year of Hell, Part 1, Part 2 on Voyager, and we're going to get a Janeway who's had a rough year, which will be, I think, a fantastic figure. Cool. I mean, I like the ones that represent episodes that I really like, and Janeway. In general, there is not nearly as many Janeway figures in the universe as there should be. And Playmates not getting us the Janeway figure they promised is a betrayal.
Yeah.
To the world. So
yeah, and I think that what Janeway represents for me, Keith, is still this kind of childlike giddiness of the unknown. As I have an Exo Janeway sitting over here
that's supposed to be at my house, by the way.
Decided that I'm going to be holding her ransom because she represents. I don't know anything about. It's like me. It's like Ben Sisko to me a year and a half ago. Just possibility, right? And so I know nothing of Janeway other than your sort of affinity for her. So I'm excited to have that story told.
Yeah, it's really, really fun. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to get into Voyager once we finish Deep Space Nine. If you're not watching our Deep Space Nine show, I don't know what you're doing here. But definitely Chuck, Keith, and Mike watch Deep Space Nine. We're almost at the end of season 6. Can't believe it. So Voyager's coming up sooner than you think.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just for Keith and Mike stands, which there are some.
The idea of that
is weird.
Almost made me do a spit take.
I heard a little rumor that it could be as early as August this year, Keith, that we see season 3 of Strange New, which means more podcasting.
Or more spread out podcasting.
Yeah, right, yeah.
It'll just take 10 years to get to the end of the series. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So we don't know what the choking hazards might be on
coffee
any
cup?
of these yet.
Yep.
Certainly a coffee cup, but I bet they will be specific to Year of Hell choking hazards.
Well,
so,
you wonder too. Now you're talking value proposition.
Rubble
if they're
and
giving
blood.
you a horse for Kirk, are they going to have to go that big for each? No, they can't possibly.
I can't imagine. I mean, some of these wouldn't. There's no horse to go with it. So unless maybe as because they do have, maybe they all get a horse.
You get a horse.
Maybe
you get a horse. You get a horse.
They probably just like got a huge deal on the horse, and there's like, we got 200,000 horses.
Why do all these horses say Costco on the bottom? Get them in bulk, baby.
Love me some Costco. Love me some Costco. All right, so next up, also from Star Trek Generations, is Worf in his sailor outfit in the promotion ceremony at the beginning of Generations. This is one that Playmates did make.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I have it on the back of my shelf there. You know what? Talk for a second. I'll go grab it so people can see.
Hey, I'm talking, and Keith is waddling over to his shelf, and I'm excited about a couple of these, and not as much the Worf sailor uniform ones, though now that Keith reminds me that's Generations. I do recall that scene, the opening of that movie on the holodeck now. Anyhow, hopefully that was long enough of me just stating facts that we've already talked about.
Well done restating the obvious. Yeah. I love it. All right, so give me a one shot, and let's take a look at this figure.
We haven't used the one in quite a while. I hope it still works.
I'm sure it works. There we go. So this is the Playmates version of that figure. Now, obviously, Nacelle is going to be probably a great deal more detailed. Come on. There we go. Than this Playmates figure. Now, these were from the Generations line, which they produced pretty cheaply. So there is no articulation whatsoever. And he just sort of got a yellow vest.
Okay.
But I imagine that the figure from Nacelle will be a great deal more detailed. Now, you know what? I'll save it. Let's talk about the next figure up, which is T'Pol. But we'll circle back for figure number 13, which is weird they didn't have these back-to-back. Odd decisions here. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But so T'Pol from Enterprise, which Mike knows nothing about, but another person
not to be confused with T'Pring.
Not to be confused with T'Pring. No, indeed. Well, you know, these Vulcan names to names.
Mm-hmm. She looks familiar though, that actress.
That's Jolene Blaylock. I have no idea in what context you would have seen her, but she's done a fair amount, but of course is one of the major cast members of Enterprise, the first officer, the Vulcan first officer. And Enterprise is one of those shows that did not get nearly as many toys as the others. So very happy to see another T'Pol out there. Now we've been promising this for a while, but then I keep forgetting to do it. I have the T'Pol figure and playset from Art Asylum to unbox.
Oh, so check it out. Yeah.
There is a 7-inch T'Pol already, but we don't have one like this. I'm very excited to have it. Yeah, poor Enterprise deserves more figures. So I'm always happy to see.
We're getting a Bacula, but was that a different company though?
No, that's the same company.
Okay.
So the Bacula we have
Wave 1.
Back
okay,
there,
I see what you're saying. Yes.
On the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's actually the bridge set. Now they only did 2 out of the 3 bridge pieces were actually released. This is of the Art Asylum from Enterprise. So the T'Pol bridge thing will connect with the Archer one that I have behind me. So they never actually released the Merryweather, which is a bummer. Anyway, so happy about that. Excited about T'Pol. I think that's going to be a really nice figure. So next up, lucky number 13 is Geordi from Generations, from that same scene and the beginning at Warp's promotion, which is a very elaborate uniform. This whole sequence was super elaborate because it was a movie like let's spend some money, and they put him on an actual ship in the ocean, and hijinks ensued. I mean, cool. It's a deep cut. Is the everybody in the weird sailor outfits on the top of my list of figures that I need to have? Not necessarily.
No, but it sort of tracks with Brian's way of thinking, I think, which is, I don't want to just do the same old characters, so this is a way to do them, which is what people want, but also with a flair, with a sort of a whimsy, as you keep saying. So the sailor outfits and the Geordi with the crazy hat and the big jacket and such.
I mean, it certainly is. Okay, cool. I mean, I'm not going to turn it down. And I think, for some folks, that's going to be really fun. Always happy to have another Geordi. So,
I mean, you're going to buy it, Keith. So,
well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean,
so what are we talking about here?
I mean, yeah, I'm going to be bankrupted. All of these new figures out there, I'm just going to be bankrupted. That's the real answer. So next up is Valeris from Star Trek 6. You know who that is, Mike?
Is that Kim Cattrall?
It is Kim Cattrall.
Is also Valeris, am I mistaken in thinking this was on your list of 150 figures I want?
Yes, I believe it is. Yeah. So Star Trek 6.
Check that out on this very channel. Go way back in the Wayback Machine.
Yeah, in the Wayback Machine. Star Trek 6, fantastic film.
Weird that the plot centers around her trying to bone everybody.
I mean, look, no spoilers. Have you seen Star Trek 6?
Oh no, I just was referring. I was making a Sex and the City reference, but
no, I understand.
Okay.
I was. I mean,
if it's a sexy rom-com, Star Trek 6.
I was ignoring anding you.
Okay.
I was ignoring nexting you.
Now hold on, Keith. I don't want to undersell Valeris, but I'm getting a little excited about Romulan Commander.
Yes, because you've seen this is from Balance of Terror.
Yeah.
This is one that we watch setting up because of the twin episode from Strange New Worlds, and we on our Patreon,
people could watch it
patreon.com/KNM.
Yeah,
we watched it together as a bonus episode. So join us, patreon.com/KNM, and get all of that cool content. So this is the Romulan Commander. Now he looks awfully familiar. Do you know why he looks really familiar?
Yeah, he's a famous guy.
He's Mark Leonard, who also plays Spock's father.
Right. And has a cool super pink getup.
He has the Romulan Commander does, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so it is interesting how similar the characters look, but it was the 60s. We didn't pay that much attention. But anyway, I met him once at a convention. Seemed like a very nice fellow. So this is great. I mean, certainly for the original series fans, this is a seminal episode. This is a really important character. Really excited to see this figure represented. Folks out there, has there ever been a Romulan Commander figure produced commercially? Playmates never did. But I wonder if one of the other companies did. I'm sure somebody did. I don't really know. But either way, to get a first-class figure of this iconic character from the original series, always happy to have that. So Mike is checking to see.
There's some stuff, but nothing that looks like, not other than like collector's edition
Customs.
figures. Custom. No, not customs.
Yeah.
Like, like statues and stuff.
Oh, I see. But not an actual like articulated figure.
Not that I'm finding on a quick, like over my shoulder Google.
Cool. Well, I bet that will sell pretty well. So next up, Mike, tell us about our next figure, because you should know this, because we watched the film together with our patrons at patreon.com.
That's Carol Marcus of Star Trek II's Wrath of Khan.
Yes, it is. Do you remember who she is?
They call that a cow neck, Keith. To be honest with you, I don't. I'm struggling with who she was in that movie.
This is great. Mike's enthusiasm is high. His retention,
it's low.
Not great.
Those streams, though, when we watch with everybody, they get a little out of control.
They get a little goofy.
Yeah.
So this is Carol Marcus, the developer of the Genesis device.
Right. Yeah.
And Kirk's baby mama.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the genius doctor who gave us Kirk's surprise son. And this is another figure that Playmates never made, which I'm surprised that they never made this. It's interesting because she's an important part of multiple films. Happy to get it. And of course, that giant cowl.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be awesome.
I mean, okay, folks out there, have anybody turned that particular outfit and cowl into like a drag outfit? Because like, how good would that be?
Cow necks are back, baby.
Are they?
Yeah.
I didn't know. We need like, there's got to be a Carol Marcus drag person out there. So somebody let me know. I would love to see that.
Or I would love to see all Trek drag. Like a Trek drag show would be kind of.
Is there a Trek like specific? There's gotta
must be. Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
or at least like those like a themed night, like serving Trek.
There's gotta be.
Anyway.
All right. So
let's get to. Come on.
Yeah, we're gonna finish with the important one for us. So the last figure they've announced is Bem from Star Trek: The Animated Series, and you want to know what, folks? As much as I bloviate about Trek and pretend to be an expert in everything, I've never seen that episode of the animated series. I don't know who Bem is.
We've done a few, maybe 2 episodes of the animated series, which are always a hoot because it's just kind of batshit. We should watch the Bem episode. I'll dig it up. Yeah, let's do that.
We're gonna have to watch the Bem episode. Looks like an amazing thing to build a figure off of.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of the, well, not a lot, but we've seen some Lower Decks figures now, and it's so cool, so colorful. I'm interested to see how they'll express that animation, and I don't know. I think it's cool. You know me, I love diversity, and I'm getting that in this wave here.
No, and Bem looks sort of like a Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
So love it.
Now Bem's friends should tell him it's time to shave his head. Just like lose it all. But he's holding on.
He's doing like Road Warriors. He's just doing the little stripes. I love it. Yeah, cool. I mean, I'm gonna have to get on there and watch an episode of the animated series. There's no bad excuse, no bad reason to go watch some old Trek. All right, so lastly. And for those of us who have devoted countless hours to talking ad nauseum about Star Trek Deep Space Nine, this figure is one that it was definitely in my top 10 of figures that I really, really want. What I really, really want.
Mm-hmm.
And that, of course, is Nog from Deep Space Nine. From Favor the Bold, meaning he is in his Starfleet ensign uniform, the best uniform, the best version of Nog. Mike, I feel like you should tell us about your excitement level for this figure.
Well, it's twofold, Keith. One, Nog is just cool just because of scale. He's a lit smaller, and so it's I like that. Also offers some aesthetic variety. But as far as characters are concerned, I don't know that there's been a character that has started one place and probably in the show Bible is listed as one thing and journeys so far to the other side of that. Just sort of a masterclass in a story arc, an improvisational story arc, because it wasn't intended
Right.
And also, it fits the themes of the show and the series. And Nog is probably... He's definitely... Oh, man, I love all the characters on that show. But he is in the top 5 for sure. I just love Nog. I love his friendship with Jake. I love his emotional maturity that we've seen, the growth, so much growth.
The first Ferengi in Starfleet?
Yeah, well, I mean, which is huge. And Keith, just as a side note, when I Googled Favor the Bold to remind myself which episode we were talking about, this is like the banner results I received. I'm going to just bring them up. I don't know about you, but we pop up.
Look at us.
Yeah. That's the first
crazy.
Google. Yeah. It's a little, talk about this.
Now, of course, I always I love seeing our stuff when it comes up in the Google search results.
Yeah, but it's not
algorithm, real.
Right? Yeah.
It's not real until you do it in a private tab, and it's not based on your self-Googling.
Correct.
You want to see yourself.
That's actually a great experiment. But no, Nog is a great character, and I'm so glad to see him. You know what would have been a cool deep cut, too? You know in that Flash Forward episode where we see him as like a captain? That would have been a cool figure, too. The Flash Forward Captain Nog.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah,
in that dream. Remember, in the future Jake.
Not the dream. But anyway, yeah. Well, that I'm sure there's a customizer out there. And honestly, frankly, Nacelle, they might just do it.
Yeah.
So I think this is a really interesting line. Obviously, I think there's some figures here that I'm more excited about than others. So for me, all right. So top 3 figures you're excited about.
Nog, number 1
for sure.
Commander, probably Romulan Commander underneath,
right.
And then I think Kirk, because I know it's a classic.
Yeah, for me it's Nog, Janeway, T'Pol.
Cool. Yeah.
So those are my big 3, but they're all welcome.
Always. Yeah.
And this is the great thing about Star Trek figures. They're all welcome. Bring it all. Like I want them all. So next we wanted to just address that the Master Replica has announced their next 2 figures available for pre-order. And they'd announced the line, but they hadn't announced when they were going to be coming out. And so a lot of people were waiting on bated breath for which of the next 2 figures they were going to release. And so first up is Worf from season 3 of Picard. I love Worf with the white white hair.
It works. He is like the silver foxest of all the foxes.
Always. So very cool. Very excited to get that figure. Now, Mike, you pre-ordered the first 2, right?
Yes. No, just one of the first 2.
When does it get to you?
I have not received any shipment notifications or updates.
Okay. Well, we are here on April 1st, if you're wondering when we recorded this, if you're watching this later. So we will certainly, the minute we get our grubby little hands on them, we will be doing a detailed review. Don't worry. So Worf is up for the next pre-order, and let's see who's next.
Sure thing. I'll click that button. Aha!
Of course.
I sort of spoiled it, but...
You sure did. It's Ensign Mariner from Lower Decks. Awesome. Very excited about this. I think they did an excellent job sort of splitting the difference, taking a 2D animation, turning it into a 3D figure. I think this one's going to sell really well. Certainly excited about it. And I know folks have strong feelings about what these cost, but I understand that's sort of where we're at in the figure world. And I was looking at a toy store the other day. I can't believe how expensive all figures are.
Yeah.
These days, like $25 is a normal price for a figure. You know what I think I just said there? I'm old.
Well, it's just hard. There's no parity about across pop culture right now. Like gamers, right, are spending $700 on a PlayStation, $2,000 on a graphics card. It's nutty right now. Like recreation and collecting and hobbies. It's and the tariffs and all that crap. Nothing's getting cheaper. So it is kind of what it is.
It's the same thing with sports cards. You know, as a sports card collector, it used to be something that everybody could have access to the same stuff.
Yeah,
but it's not that anymore. What do you know? Wait, is income inequality a problem in this world? I can't imagine.
I don't know, but
can't imagine. Anyway, so folks, let us know what you think about Wave 2 and what you want to see in Wave 3.
Yeah, it seems like they're opening the doors to Wave 3. So, and Brian seems to be
I'm sure
that
it's
likes
deep
to listen
into
to
development.
feedback. Yeah.
They absolutely listen to feedback. I don't know if Brian watches our little shows, but if he does, certainly leave the feedback. I would imagine it'd be useful for him to read the comments here on this video. What do you think about all these new figures? Are you going to order them? Are you excited about? Have you pre-ordered Wave 1? Super curious. Love to get all of your thoughts. If you would like to reach us, you can do so at lookatmystartrektoys@gmail.com. Hey, Nacelle, you can also reach us at lookatmystartrektoys.com and send us some review copies. Love to get those, and master replicas too. So, and if your buddies, any of our listener buddies with them, and they want to help us get some review copies, yeah, let us know. We'll definitely give you a shout out. So look at mystartrektoys@gmail.com to reach us. Mike, if they wanted to support our channel, how could they do that?
You're doing it right now. You're giving us that look. You're giving us that watch. We appreciate your
eyeballs.
time. You can give us a thumbs up. You can subscribe to the channel, tell a friend.
Yeah.
Or, of course, you could always donate anything from $1 to $1,000 at patreon.com/K&M. You spell the and, so KANDM. And lots of fun stuff for you if you do. And not to toot my own horn, but we watch Deep Space Nine together as a family every week.
We do.
And we'll be doing that probably tomorrow. And then recording on Thursday, Keith. Production meeting, side note.
Yeah, it should be fine.
Yeah. And that's it. That's how you can help us. But just being here, we appreciate it. Tell a friend and get us a hookup because we really could use an interview.
We could use an interview, and we could use some toys.
Definitely. From the beginning, it's been about the toys.
I mean, we started this like I don't know, 3-4 years ago, and our dream was maybe we will be so successful that the companies will send us review copies. And you know what? Playmates did. So Playmates sent us review copies. So Nacelle, Master of Replicas, you know what? You think you're better than Playmates? Well, not yet. Not until I get a box on my porch. Shots fired.
Keith wants a box. All right.
I want a box. All right, folks. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you back soon with another episode of Look at My Star Trek Toys.
You don't say it on this show. With another episode of
Look at my Star Trek toys!
Keep talking, Cory Booker.